You're listening to Soap Dirt, the latest in television entertainment news.
Hey there, Days of Our Lives fans. It is Soap Dirt on YouTube, and we have got some Days of Our Lives predictions for the next week or so, and maybe one or so from beyond that we've just been thinking about based on the current spoilers that are happening right now, and just all the action that we are seeing on Days for these upcoming storylines. We've got 5 hot predictions about front burner people, legacy characters, baby drama, all kinds of stuff. Hey, if you haven't already, reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives spoilers, casting news, everything that you need to know about your NBC Peacock streaming soap opera. Okay, our number 1 prediction is that Xander is going to choose a romance with Chloe over Sarah, but still wants to be a daddy to his baby. The Xander-Sarah pregnancy storyline is moving fast forward now at breakneck pace, with Bonnie coming back and telling Justin the news that Sarah's pregnant with his baby, and then Maggie Horton overhears, but then Bonnie lies and says it's actually Mimi that's pregnant. Of course, that lie is not going to hold water for very long, especially when Xander also showed up at the mansion, and it was on the tail end of the conversation between Bonnie and Justin after Maggie left the room. So the spoilers for this week say Bonnie is still trying to keep that baby secret from Xander, but I don't know if she's going to keep it for that long. However, Xander knows that Sarah is eternally disappointed in him, and he is falling head over heels and really fast for songbird Chloe Lane. He has always wanted that top slot over at Titan. He had it before, and then he lost it. And then Maggie offered him a job, Alex's job, and Xander's like, oh, I'm kind of happy at The Spectator. So I tend to think he's obviously there to talk about the job, but the reason he thought about saying no to the job was because he wanted to stay working with Chloe every day at The Spectator. I tend to think he's going to stay at The Spectator with Chloe, or he's going to ask Maggie if she will let him bring Chloe over to work at Titan. I think Chloe has worked there before. I know that Victor doesn't have a lot of love for her, and he's not going to be around in person, unfortunately, because John Aniston passed away, but they are keeping Victor Kiriakis alive in spirit and referring to his character and his decisions all the time. So I do think that Xander is going to stick with Chloe, not thinking that Sarah can really accept him, where Chloe does know all the bad things and she's deciding to accept him, which Sarah was up to a point until he screwed it up again. But I don't think there's any way that Xander could ever be convinced to walk away from this baby with Sarah, which should be very interesting. All right, our second prediction, which this is a longer term prediction, but it's been on my mind, so I just wanted to get it out there, see what you guys think about it. I think Eric Brady is going to wind up with 2 babies. So this week, he is talking to his girlfriend, Sloane Peterson, about the fact that he is upset about Nicole not being pregnant with his child. Not because he wanted specifically to get Nicole pregnant, but because he wants to be a father so bad. He's never had a biological child of his own. He got Jada pregnant and she had an abortion that really crushed him. Of course, it was her right to do, but it really, really hurt him. And so this week, Sloane's going to say, okay, well, why don't we have a baby? And I think Eric might be so hopped up on potential papa hormones that he might say okay. If he does say okay and he and Sloane get pregnant, wouldn't it be super duper interesting if then it comes out that Nicole's baby is also Eric's? Because right now we have no idea whose baby she's carrying because the DNA swab was full of Sloane's spit, and we definitely know no matter how many biscuits she may or may not have, Sloane did not get Nicole pregnant. So that's easy enough. So I think before it's all said and done that poor Eric, who's not ever had any kids, might end up with 2 from 2 different women within the next year. Okay. Our number 3 prediction is that Alex Kiriakis and Chanel Dupree might give a relationship a shot. She had been briefly dating Talia Hunter. Talia says she's not into girls, so I don't think that is going to be a thing. It might be, you never know, but that really wasn't her thing, and she was very clear with Colin about it, and she didn't want to do it, and she seemed very uncomfortable, especially because that anxiety over getting with her was what got her to confess about Colin. So I really don't think that Talia is going to want to pick up a relationship. I do think she wants a friendship with Chanel, though. Alex is not making any headway with Stephanie, especially not after Chad took off the wedding ring as a big gesture to her this week. So I think Alex is going to be at loose ends, but I don't think he's going to have a chance to get back with Gwen because Gwen is now looking at Dimitri. So unless Gwen is getting a love triangle with Alex and Dimitri, I wonder if Alex and Chanel will give it a try. They've already hit the sheets together. They had that three-way with him and her and Allie. She was a little upset when Allie took Alex to bed, but that's not really Alex's fault. So I wonder if they are going to give it a go, and I think that could be a whole lot of fun. All right, our number 4 prediction for Days of Our Lives is a DiMera house divided that's going to end up brothers versus sisters. So this week, Megan is making these plans that are destructive, possibly dangerous, and EJ DiMera gets wind of it, and he confronts his sister, and I believe she is going to put him in timeout. I think she's going to put him in timeout with Kristen DiMera, because there's another spoiler that basically it says that Nicole can't find EJ, and that EJ is going to wind up in a dangerous / tight spot because of his crazy sister. And then another spoiler says EJ and Kristen put their heads together about their Megan problem. So I think anybody, DiMera or not, who opposes her is going to wind up somewhere where they don't want to be. And Gabby, meanwhile, is telling Stefan and EJ, you need to quit sniping at each other and you need to focus on the real threat, which is Megan Hathaway. So I do think that Kristen is going to try and suck up to Megan and stay on her side because she knows her brothers don't want her around. So I do think it might end up being Stefan and EJ versus Kristen and Megan. And the big question is, where will brother Tony land on the side? Strangely, years ago, he was married to Kristen, but I don't think that softened his heart to her too much. He would be kind of the swing vote. I know there's other votes that matter. Megan is working on Lee, and it looks like Lee is going to be her side, but Johnny should have a vote, and Johnny should be with his dad. So this DiMera Civil War prompted by Megan should be very interesting. All right, before we share for you our number 5 and final prediction for the next couple of weeks and beyond, if you haven't already, please reach down, click that subscribe button so you don't miss any of our Days of Our Lives action, spoilers, casting news, all the good stuff. All right, let's dig in. Our number 5 prediction is that EJ and Stefan have a double wedding. So right now, EJ isn't engaged, but I am certain he's going to go back and propose to Nicole again now that he can show her he's sincere and say, I really want to be there with you for our baby, because now he thinks it's his baby. So I think that's going to really amp up his desire to put a ring on her finger and walk her down the aisle. Meanwhile, Stefan and Gabby are planning a July wedding, I think July 31st, which is the anniversary of the first time they got married several years back. So I think with Nicole pregnant and EJ assuming it's his, and EJ and Stefan probably being allies to take on their sisters, maybe they will do a double wedding at the house and make a really big splash out of it. So we do know that Gabby is leaving in a few months around October because Camilla Banus has already finished taping and they're just now running through the episodes that she shot before she left for good. And I do think we are going to see this wedding for Stefan and Gabby, but I'm hoping it's going to be EJ and Nicole's big day as well. Tell us what you think about our predictions and where you think these storylines are going and what you're hoping to see soon on your favorite NBC Peacock exclusive streaming soap.
Thank you for being a loyal listener. Follow us wherever you get your podcast, because you don't want to miss the next episode. Soap Dirt is on all the major podcast platforms, including Apple Podcast, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and more.